Yeah, karibu. That's what we say. We say karibu. That's welcome. And it's a pleasure to be here. I want to thank SDev and in partnership with Accra Technical University for inviting me here. And it's a pleasure to be in Ghana once more. I was here back in February. So let's move. If you could just help me to, yes. So Kurasa is an edtech solution, just like you've heard, and we focus on competency-based education. So this is a privately held organization, young startup that was born out of COVID and basically trying to address the needs in education. We started with having an online school when students were at home, and then we soon pivoted to what it is today, after realizing the amount of work and the effort it takes for teachers to be able to deliver in the classroom, noting that this is, should I say, the impact hub. You know, a lot of hours are spent in the classrooms. And so this is where the transformation, as we see it, is going to be happening. So our purpose or our vision is to revolutionize the classroom through innovative technology, empowering teachers to deliver competency-based education effectively and efficiently. So we are teacher-focused. We ensure that the teachers have the capacity and the ability to be able to deliver. And our goals is to enhance educational access through robust digital platforms. Like I said, we empower educators with tools that make it more effective, very efficient to teach. And also we foster student engagement and personalized learning. Okay, so the problem that we looked at, main problem is the lack of data. The lack of data on progressive learning. So this means that it's very difficult for us as we speak to know what is the progress in learning. And usually, particularly in our African countries, we have to serve a national examination or an external examination to be able to have an idea of where students are. Otherwise, we don't trust the judgment of the classrooms. And this is the data that is lacking, both at the classroom level, at the administration, and even at the district and national level. And this is the core problem, lack of data infrastructure. And why is this? This is because there is manual record keeping. So many of you are aware with teachers, the amount of work that they have to do to keep their records. So this is either their lesson plans, their schemes of work. I know we have that here. We're doing some reports on progress, formative assessments. The amount of work manually means that they're not even able to do it properly. And technically, even if you were to be in a classroom and have 50, 60 learners, you also wouldn't be able to deliver that. And so with that, we have learning gaps, and this is also represented by the low student achievement that we see, whereby, you know, like we just had earlier today, we have 10-year-olds who are not able to read at grade level. And this is because we were not able to formatively follow the progress of the learners. So this is the core problem that we are looking at, both for the teachers, for the schools, and for the parents by extension, and now also for our governments and for our continent as Africa. Let's move. And so there's this need for visibility, and these needs, I've just written them, not in any order, but they belong to all the stakeholders, like I mentioned. It's very difficult to monitor curriculum coverage. So the only assumptions we make is that by end of year, we should have covered 100% of curriculum, which really means we have to wait to the end of the year to all be at the same understanding of where we should be in curriculum. Teacher digital enablement. So we see some countries talking about, teachers talking about, talking about laptops and digital devices for learners. But in these classrooms, the teachers don't have the ability. And so they can't even control a classroom when they have the devices in the class. And so that's a need, a challenge as well. We have the data for professional development. Again, this is data that we need to know. We need to know what professional development are we talking about? There's identification, what interventions would we like to identify? So again, this data would help us to know that. Feedback for curriculum adjustment. we have over 30 curricula designed here, and we are continuously designing more. What is the process of improving these designs, these curriculum standards that we are doing? There is stakeholder engagement. How do you know what kind of engagement to have at each level based on the information that is relevant to them? Planning for national assessments. Again, we don't have to use the rationale for end of year is the only time we can have national assessment. National assessments can be planned at any time based on information that we have. And then we have what we're calling a transition. Again, as we're trying to work on a personalization in learning, we need to know what is the current strength for each learner. Are we pushing them into STEM? Are we pushing them into, health sciences, into social sciences, humanities, and so on and so forth? And then we have daily school attendance. Something as simple as school attendance is something that would be very important for ministries, for governments, for partners to be able to monitor, because this directly affects the outcomes of learners. Accountability and reporting. So here we have a saying at Kurasa where we say teachers do what is inspected, not what is expected. So if they're expected to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 2 and 5 are inspected, that's what they tend to focus on. And then we have curriculum alignment. Again, curriculum alignment is being able to know what is the linkage between learning, which are the higher and the lower order skills based on curriculum data. So we have our teacher's dilemma. And here we just want to describe, and I don't know if you recognize the face here. This is one of our former, any guess? Ruto. This is Uhuru Kenyatta. So the teacher's dilemma is literally the amount of time that they're required to do. So they have lesson planning. And what they say is that it takes them, on an ideal case, when we interview them, it should take them about 3 hours to do the right thing. But when you look at a teacher's life, they have to come in into school at 7 and leave at maybe 4 or 5 sometimes. And then they have to spend 3 hours doing this. So the question is, where is these 3 hours? And you see why they end up doing the wrong thing. Let's move. So 80% of time is usually spent on rote learning and memorization, and also administrative work that's going to be inspected. And this is why assessments now have to end up being untimely. They cannot, they're delivered to parents at the end of the term, because at the end of the term is when we have standardized tests done by schools. They tend to be inaccurate, and they're also ineffective in informing teaching and learning methodology. Let's move. So this is a survey that was done by, is a research that we did internally with 60 decibels. This is a research organization that we procured to do this. And we are able to see the main purposes that teachers use Kurasa for. And this is mainly efficiency. If you look at the motivation, this is ease of workload management, better efficiency, need for digitization. And then on the right side, you can see the digital lesson planning is the most important feature for teachers. And this is also what we are doing with teachers, including here in Ghana. We have already started a pilot, and this is what lights them up. And so we are really inviting partners, we're inviting players to really collaborate with SDEV, because we're working with SDEV here in Ghana and actually beyond, to be able to help teachers access this. You can see 94% and 90% are using this for both formative assessments and digital lesson planning. And then the rest is weekly assessment reports to guardians. And then they're also able to generate curriculum grade books for learners. Let's move. So currently we are focusing our pilot on the basic 7, 8, and 9 on the Ghanaian Common Core Program. And we're taking all the learning areas that are offered here. And on the right side, you can see a sample of a lesson plan being created. And this is being done in real time. It's taking about 4 to 7 minutes to create this. And it has all the controls that lesson plans should have. For instance, you're not able to take a lesson plan into the past, So these are simple controls that help administrators and school get more quality data, as you can see on the right side. And it is also being used on a mobile phone, loaded with the entire curriculum designs. Let's move to the next one. So formative versus summative. So like you can see on the graphic on the left, when you're preparing food, formative assessment is when the chef is tasting, or when you're tasting in the kitchen. But summative is when the customer is tasting. And you will see that for all restaurants where they don't have a process of checking the quality of whatever they are serving, they will leave that to the customer. And a lot of the times they will end up into issues. And this is what assessment for learning is all about. And that's what we champion at Kurasa. Let's proceed. So this is the assessment guidelines in the rubrics format here at here in Ghana. And you can see it begins from the high proficiency all the way to the emerging. And this now platform enables teachers to specify which learners on a particular learning outcome, which learners are highly proficient and which learners are developing all the way back to emerging. And teachers are putting in their comments. They're also putting the evidences, and this is now helping them to generate portfolio documents whereby they can be able to have evidence that shows this is actually the outcome of this particular learner in this particular content standard or indicator. So that's really making their work easier, and that's what they are reporting as something that, and from how we see it, this is a sure way of increasing the quality we're delivering without a significant investment in the education, given that resources are also very limited. Let's move. I think I'm done. Not yet. Yeah, so this is, I'll just read two testimonials from our teachers. So when I completed Form 4, that's basic, that's the senior school. We had a slogan that IT is here to stay. I took some computer classes, but because I never had a place or device to practice, I was scared to even try. Through Kurasa allowing me to interact with devices daily, my digital literacy has greatly improved. I'm happy to pronounce that the slogan now, because I'm confident in the way I work on digital devices. So this is a teacher. And then we have this teacher who is male, says Kurasa has made preparation and accessing of our work very easy by use of a few clicks. The best is I'm always able to explain to parents regarding their children's progress without perusing through many papers. In the past, accessing similar information was not as fluid. I'm also able to track the school attendance at the click of a button. I'm able to do all this, which makes me feel more efficient now. So you can see these teachers are talking about how it makes them feel, their digital efficacy, and also their efficiency in the classroom. And I think this is really what our partnership with SDEV is anchored on, and we're really calling upon all players, government, partners in the development agencies to collaborate with SDEV, and we are here and currently doing this pilot here in Ghana. I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.